Sani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal Constituency of Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I want to come under Rule 8.4, matters of urgent public importance. And the matter I want to bring before the attention of this honorable House has to do with the issue of Samoa agreement that was signed on behalf of Nigerians by the federal government on the 28th of June 2024. It was alleged that some clauses in the Samoa protocol involves LGTB, and that has caused a lot of tension and apprehension in every part of the country. So I believe it is important we discuss that. I'm therefore appealing that we suspend the relevant rules so that we may discuss it now. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes. Behind.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I'm Barrister Muhammad Bello Shehu. I'm representing the people of Fege Federal Constituency, and I rise this morning to second the first leg of the motion as ably moved by my leader, Honorable Ali Madakingini. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, the man wearing suit, you raised your hand before. And well, yes. Yes, I want you to second, not you, the one wearing suit. I can't see your face clearly, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Joseph Mwabasi, representing Azano Tishelu Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as moved by my dear colleagues. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, you can now go ahead with your motion.
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Ali Sani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal Constituency of Kano State. The motion reads, alleged controversial Samoa partnership agreement by the federal government. The House notes that on June 28, 2024, the federal government signed what is known as the Samoa Agreement with the European Union, EU, to boost food security and inclusive economic development among other vital areas. Concerned that the agreement allegedly has some clauses that compel underdeveloped and developing nations to support lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT community as condition for getting financial and other support from advanced societies. Also concerned that Article 97 of the alleged agreement, which states no treaty, convention, agreement, or arrangement of any kind between one or more member states of European Union or one or more member states of OACPS members shall impede the implementation of this agreement is seen as supremacy clause and thus violate Nigeria's sovereignty. Worried that other articles, especially Article 2.5, 29.5, 36.2, and Article 88 in the Samoa Agreement that was signed by the federal government may be inimical to the interests of Nigeria as a country and the values of our people as a whole. More so, it does not contain a reservation clause. Aware that Article 2.5 states that all parties systematically promote a gender perspective and ensure that gender equality is mainstream across all countries. Also worried that the phrase gender equality, as reported, is a Trojan horse or deceptively bringing in all sorts of immorality to our country, as gender no longer means sexes, male and female, as traditionally understood. It now includes homosexualism, lesbianism, transgenderism, and animalism. Further worried that the signing of such an agreement with the aforementioned clauses, if true, violate our sovereignty and is a clear contravention of Section 12(1) of 1999 Constitution as amended. The federal government may have signed the agreement without exhaustive consultation and consideration for possible long-term consequences. Resolve to call on the federal government to suspend the implementation of the Samoa agreement until all controversial clauses are clearly defined, to make sure that they do not violate any law in Nigeria. Mandate the Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Justice, treaties, protocols, and agreements to interface with the relevant agencies to resolve all gray areas in the agreement and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I sit down, this motion is sponsored by 88 members. Among them are 5 members of leadership, which includes the minority leader, Honorable Kumo, Honorable Halims, Honorable Ali Jesi, and Honorable Nolin, Honorable Sada Soli, Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, Honorable Yusuf Rabiu, Honorable George Ozodunobi, and 80 others. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Who step it down for me?
Yes, Honorable Kazare.
Yes,
actually, I'm busy putting them together. Before I ask the question, it needs to be seconded. Before I open it for debate, it needs to be seconded. Honorable Kazare, you want to second it? Okay. Yes, let's go behind. The man with the red cap. No, Bula cap, yes?
My name is Daniel Asama. I represent the people of Bessa and Just North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. I rise this afternoon to second the second leg of this motion as proposed and moved by my distinguished colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My respected colleagues, I would like to make a contribution to what just been said by my leader, Alima Daki, with regard to this Samoa agreement. Actually, Mr. Speaker, I'm in center stage of this all what is going on in this house as far as Samoa agreement is concerned. So my position, Mr. Speaker, sir, this Samoa agreement has contravened our values, ethics, and our grand norm. And Mr. Speaker, sir, by allowing this Samoa agreement as is speculated, it will promote ill behaviors, erode our morals, our ethics, and our religious standing as a nation, Mr. Speaker, sir. And it equally go further in institutionalizing immorality as a code of conduct in this nation. So I call upon this House to consider this motion of urgent public importance as moved by my leader, Alima Daki, and allow the legislature to do the needful as far as this Samoa agreement is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Leader of the House.
If that the public has been misled over time about the Samoa agreement, let me not waste the time of this House, but state very clearly, there is no portion of that agreement that talked about LGBTQ or 150 billion. Hold on, let me finish. If you have it, bring it out here. I'll show it. In fact, 3 ministers have come out, including information, budget, and planning. in public to say there was nothing like that in the agreement. Go and Google your media. You will see the agreement, you will see there. That it was never mentioned, it was never discussed. There is nothing like lesbian rights or gay rights. It is about human rights, environmental protection, and trade agreements, period. How on earth? If you have the agreement, bring it out here. There is nothing like that in that agreement.
This is the beauty of Parliament. People are allowed to be heard. Honorable Alexi Kweche, let me hear you. Please.
Honorable Speaker, yes, please.
Please turn off your mic. Ikweche. And I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak very briefly about some of the contents of this Samoa agreement. Mr. Speaker, this agreement has certain clauses that happens to be in variance with our way of life. We are Africans, we are not Westerners. We have our laws, we have our way of life, we have our way of doing things. And as far as I'm concerned, this issue of human rights, which Nigeria does not in any way violate, should not be implicitly enshrined into this agreement, and members representing the people. This is the people's house. This is the people's parliament. We stand here in my own right. I represent over 1.something million people from Aba. And I have been told that this particular human rights clause happens to be reprehensible, abominable, and we do not intend to stand for it. Do I speak the minds of my people here? Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to do things that do not align or that is... Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
We cannot continue to engage in contrived way of governance, cosmetic way of running government. Let us focus on the issues that matter. Our people are hungry.
Yes.
Our people are starving.
Yes.
People cannot buy food. There is insecurity. There is no light in the country. Industries are not growing. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this. So let us step it down. Let us close it. Let us forget everything about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker. The minority leader of the House says something, and then we have one or two amendments, and we put it to vote. Please. Still on the same issue. Let the minority speak. Majority have spoken. Let minority speak. Please.
Thank you, Mr.
The majority
Speaker.
have spoken. Let minority say something. We'll come back to you.
I'm an Ikwere man from River State. My dear colleagues, this motion is one that is investigative. Because it's an investigative motion, I will even caution that we should not be judgmental in our argument. But clearly, where the federal government is going into an agreement, by the provisions of Section 12 of the Constitution, the Parliament ought to be carried along. And if the Parliament had been carried along, these arguments, even from our people that we speak for, would not have been there, because Nigerians would have been better informed. The problem is that of lack of information. And as a Parliament, All we are saying is that we want to be satisfied that what the executive has told Nigerians is actually the true position of the facts. That's all we're asking for. At this stage, we are not condemning or accepting whether LGBT is in the contract or not. But we want to know, we want to confirm, and we want to affirm. So I would therefore pray, that at this stage, we all support the motion and allow this investigation to go on. When we get the report of the investigation, we can then carry out a full debate on the outcome. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In the federal constituency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have amendment and a reply to the House Leader. The first amendment, Mr. Speaker, is the need for Nigerian government to unsign and withdraw from the unpopular Samoa Agreement, and the need for the government to refrain from engaging in any such treaties that contravene the people's culture, religion, and unethical morals. One. And Mr. Speaker, agreement. This is the amendment. Mr. Speaker, agreement upon agreement has been signed by Nigeria in order to improve the Nigerian economy. But Mr. Speaker, everybody knows that instead for the economy to progress, it's now retrogressing like a wildfire. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we urge and we tell everybody, no matter how much money Nigeria is going to get from this thing, the handlers of the current economy could not fix the economy. Therefore, this should be rejected in totality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. We finally say something, then we'll put the question.
No amendment.
Say aye.
Amendment.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. There was no amendment. This motion is referred to Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Committee on Justice, Treaties, Protocols and Agreements, as well as legislative compliance.